This is the vTestify industry interview. My name's Ray Haddad, Director of Customer Success at vTestify. With me today is Reesa Parker. Hi, Reesa.
Hello, Ray. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I hope you are as well.
I am.
Reesa is the president of Revotext LLC, founder of GPS LLC, a freelance court reporting agency. Reesa is also a certified real-time reporter and a past president of the National Court Reporters Association. So, Reesa, just to kind of get this started and get a little bit of your background, how long have you been working in the court reporting industry?
February of this year was 43 years.
Well, congratulations. February is my birth month, uh, and I've only been here 30.
Okay.
So, what initially got you into court reporting?
Well, believe it or not, it was a picture in a magazine when I was in high school. When I was a junior, I competed in the UIL, University Interscholastic League, in typing. And so I had excelled in pen shorthand, Greg was shorthand at the time, and typing, and was actually ranked number 4 in the nation in typing. And so we had our typing contest for the championship in Topeka, Kansas, and I came in 4th. And I didn't think that was too bad for a kid from Iowa Park, Texas. So, I always had the aptitude for transferring content onto a piece of paper. And I think that just having that aptitude, and then one day I'm flipping through, an office type magazine at school, and I see a photograph of a court reporter. And I thought, well, that looks interesting. And I was interested in legal anyway, the legal space. And so I started looking into where I might be able to learn to become a court reporter. And that led me to Dallas, which was about 125 miles south of my hometown. And 3 days after I graduated from high school, I was in Dallas starting court reporting school.
That's a that's a really impressive journey. I mean, national championship typist being ranked 4th in the entire nation and, having that kind of direction and guidance from a young age, from high school, is something that I think a lot of people just don't have in this day and age.
Well, my husband, not my husband, my son fought me tooth and nail when I forced him to take a keyboarding class I think in middle school. And he's so glad he did, because he really knows his way around a keyboard now and doesn't have to hunt and peck. But yeah, it's the only profession I've known.
It's just really impressive. So, where was your first court reporting job?
Well, my first court reporting job was in Beaumont, Texas. I was recruited by an agency in Beaumont. And so I moved to Beaumont from Dallas and was there for about 9 months. And it just was not a good environment for me, the humidity, and it just caused some, health issues. And so always kept a cold or sinus infection. And so we decided that was not a good place for me to be. And I was really too far from home, according to my mother. And so I came back to Dallas, and my career has been in Dallas.
So, a little homesick, but it brought you back to Dallas, which is now your home.
Correct.
So, this is probably gonna span a period of time, but how did you go from that first court reporting job to becoming an NCRA president?
Well, I often say being president of NCRA meant that I wore the hat in the complaints department for a year. And so, the complaints stopped with the president. I like I said, court reporting has been my career, and I have expertise in it. And I just was active in association work. and someone said, you should become a director at NCRA on NCRA's board. And so I eventually became a director. I was originally, but prior to being a director, I was chair of the National Court Reporters Foundation, which is the charitable or philanthropic arm of the NCRA. And then from NCRF, I then went on the board of directors of NCRA, and then just ascended following my directorship to secretary treasurer, then vice president, president elect, and then president. And the best role, immediate past president.
So, you know, mul- multiple national recognition, championship typist when you're younger, NCRA presidency. I mean, you just had a lot going for you ever since you began. Um, Now that you own your own court reporting agency, GPS, um, how did you meet your partners? How did that get started? Oh,
Well, GPS is actually my second freelance court reporting agency. I had a freelance agency for 22 years and sold it in 2007. And then, but during that period, because I'm based in Dallas, so is Lisa Goucher, and so is Melissa Spivey. And so Lisa and I were industry competitors, but we were always friendly competitors, and a friendship grew from that. Melissa Spivey and I were co-workers at Merrill Corporation, and a friendship developed there. And Lisa and I, when she was bought out by her partner, she and I, talked from time to time, and she had a non-compete, and about 6 months before her non-compete expired, we started talking a little more frequently. And I said, gosh, I wish we could figure out a way to do something together. And she said, yes, I would love to do that. And I said, well, let's think about it. So what sort of started out as just kind of a wish out there in the air turned into, well, let's get serious about it, and make some concrete plans to move forward with that. So her non-compete expired September 1, and we were incorporated on September 4, right after Labor Day, and hit the ground running.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, same with Melissa Spivey. We were trying to determine what are we going to call ourselves. And I said, gosh, if we had an S, we could be Goucher Parker S name. And I was like, oh, Melissa Spivey. I called Melissa and I was like, you want to throw down with us? And she said, oh my gosh, I would love to do that. And I said, good. So now we can be GPS. So, that acronym stuck.
And for those who might be searching for your company, I know that Google searching GPS can be difficult. Your website's gps.llc, is that right?
That's correct.
Perfect. So, in your expert opinion, what is the most important factor or consideration when conducting remote depositions?
Well, I can answer that from a couple of perspectives. If I may, I think for everybody, high speed internet is a must. Now, we have had witnesses that have conducted their remote depositions from their phone, sitting in a car. And I think somebody told me they had a witness in a moving car one time. And so, I mean, it's crazy the different things that one runs into during remote depositions. But I think solid internet, it is by far the most important component. Um, I would say second only to a purpose-built solution. And if you're going to take depositions, why wouldn't you use a solution that's built for taking remote depositions? It just makes sense. And vTestify, we've watched the metamorphosis of vTestify, and you continue enhancement of the platform. And so I think, first and foremost, that's the most important, and then the internet. But from a witness perspective, I think if an attorney is presenting a witness, they should preview what that witness will look like in same setting, um, same internet connection. All of that they should test ahead of time and make sure the witness it has good lighting and a good light behind their camera so that their face is illuminated and not no shadows or weird looking lighting that makes it difficult to see the face, a bunch of light coming in from behind the witness and that sort of thing. And, so I think a preview of what the witness might look like is really advisable because that's what the jury will eventually see if the case gets to trial.
That's a great point, and it's something I always try to echo: test to ensure success.
Right.
You want to see how that witness is going to be presented, and make sure if it's your witness that it's being presented favorably.